Hello. How's everybody doing out there? I'm actually just right now working on masks. Okay, pull up my Facebook there. Right now I'm just working on masks. So this is something I got during Christmas time. It was the long length of twist ties. And it came in handy for lots of things. But then when they started with this making mask things and they want the nose piece, this actually works really, really well. I cut about 3 sections, about 2 inches long. And I don't know, it could, you might need to make it a little bit longer, but 2 inches seems to be just about right, perfect length. So I just kind of measure it out, put 3 of them together. Now it wants to naturally bend, kind of like this. Okay. And I'm just going to finish up this one and then we're going to get started. So today we are going to be working on a jelly roll. So I kind of decided, because I didn't get a whole lot of people. I actually had 2 people later on, somebody else mentioned a pineapple quilt, and I would love to work on a pineapple block. But let me get this on real quick. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and straighten these out a little bit, and that way, but they kind of actually sit really well together when they're. Hello, Brenda. How are you? And I saw Miss Sheila came on. Hello, Miss Sheila. And Miss Faye. Well, Faye, that is Sheila. Hey, Miss Sheila. Let me wave at you. And then I'm going to put this, what I'm doing is I'm going to put this right in the center. And I'll be honest, I don't measure that. I just kind of put it in there. Increase my width and shorten my length just a little bit so that it kind of gets it in there better. Ooh, I want to do this on the back side, not the front side. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, let's get this on the back side. And I just pick a side. Just try not to sew the 2 edges together. I've done that too. But they kind of want it so that it's on one piece, not all the way through both layers. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Hey, Kathy, I've got you listed as my top fan. Thank you. Not sure how that works, but if you guys figure out what that means, I just want to say thank you to all my top fans. You guys are awesome. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of finishing up this this mask, and then I'm going to set it aside, and we're going to get to work on our mystery. I'm calling it the Jelly Roll Mystery Blocks. So what I'm going to do is each night after we're done with this class, I'm going to put out a message for what you need for the next block. So last night I posted on there what you needed. So this is kind of gonna kind of be a work in progress. So don't worry if you didn't get the information. Just kind of check back at night right there on my website. I'm sorry, not my website, on my Facebook page, so that you can get the information. Okay, so I have stitched on both sides, and that way now it will form that little nosy thing. Okay, so this is, hey Miss Janice, happy to have you on board. So I was working on let me wave at Miss Janice. So I was working on masks. This is mine inside out, and I put the little nose piece on one side. And later on after class, I'll work on finishing up these 4 right here. I already have the elastic in. On some of them, I didn't do elastic. I did little ties because they say the ties are easier on them than the elastic. So make sure you're not making that elastic too short, because you want to make sure that it's not, pulling on their ears. And if you've ever tried on one of the masks, and if you do try on one of the masks, keep it. Don't send it out the door. But if you've ever tried one on and put it around your ear, if it's too short, it's kind of painful. So as much as they love us for doing this for them, let's try and make sure they're comfortable too, okay? All right, let me put this aside. We are done with this for today. Now, I don't know, you can't see it, but let me turn it around. So this cute little thing is what we're going to work on today. Okay, you guys are welcome to work on anything. You do not have to do what I'm doing. Okay, but I just thought if you had a minute and you had an hour out of your day and you wanted to do it, I am here. We are all in. Okay, and it'll be cute by the time we're done. We can stop at, so we could do 3 rows of 4, that's 12 blocks, that's 12 days. Or we can do 20 and go 20 days. We'll let you can drop in and out whenever you want to. And so here's how I did it. I picked a jelly roll, and I have quite a few. Thank you guys. I have quite a few jelly rolls around my house. I collect them up. Whenever they go on sale, I look at one, I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful, I have to have it. I have it, and then it sits in the drawer. That's one of those UFO things. Somebody was talking to me about UFOs the other day, and they're like, is it a UFO if it's just a thought? And I'm like, yeah, for me it is. For them, no. It's not a UFO until they get it cut out and have it started. And I see the lights are going in and out again. At least on my screen, not on, my lights are fine, they're steady. But maybe it's just because I'm moving so much. Anyways, so jelly rolls right here. The other thing you can do is maybe you have a favorite fabric. You can have maybe 2, 3, 4 different ones. You could decide how you want to do it. But usually it works best with a light and a dark. So have a light and dark. I didn't even realize when I put my clothes on today, they kind of matched. You can have a light and a dark. So what it called for was, let me see, where's my thing? Okay, so I made my little list. So 8 light, 2.5 by 3.5, 8 dark, 2.5 by 3.5, and then we need 3 strips. That's this is a strip of 1.5 by the width of fabric. WOF. If you ever wonder what that means width of fabric. I was one of those people that had no idea what that was until someone finally told me. It means width of fabric. So fabric comes 42, 44 inches on a roll or on a bolt. And so if you cut whatever you need all the way across, that's the width of fabric from edge, from selvage to selvage. And the selvage is just where they've grabbed a hold of it. Actually, I've never seen how they do that. I'd really like to. I should see that, you know, how it's made kind of thing. Wouldn't that be neat? Okay, so this, you need at least 3 strips, and it needs to be 1.5 inches by the width of fabric. And this one needs to be your accent fabric. Now for mine, my accent fabric is going to be white. Actually, I tend to lean towards the dark side because I really like the Amish style quilting, where it has the really vibrant colors and the blacks and I love that stuff. I wish I could get over to Pennsylvania so I could check out the Amish community over there. But anyways, in the meantime, since I have a baby coming up, oh, hey, Marianne. Glad you could make it on. We were just talking about the about what we're going to work on today, if you want to work on it. Otherwise, you can just listen to me drone on, and we can all chit-chat while we're working on whatever we're working on. Okay, so, excuse me, I had a Coca-Cola today, so I'll probably be belching a little bit. Hopefully you won't hear it. Okay, so this is going to be my accent because I have a baby coming up, so I figured I'll just take this and I'll start making this for that baby quilt. Okay, so we have our jelly roll. We have all of our colors, all really pretty colors, whichever we choose, or we have our favorite colors, which I'm one of those people, I like it to be light dark. Sometimes color, bright, vibrant colors like that sometimes can kind of throw me off when I'm talking about like the jelly rolls. There's so many colors in there and I can never decide, so that for me that's so much easier. Okay, so are we ready to get started? Let's have some fun. This is actually a fairly easy one from the block behind me, which of course I've moved it. It's way over here. From the block behind me, I put one together because I wanted to see how it went together and how easy it was or how hard it was. So this is what we're going to do. If you got the instructions, and I kind of posted it online just like this on my little clipboard with what you needed and hopefully a little explanation at the bottom. Now tomorrow or tonight, I'll post another one of what you need. And when I say this is jelly roll, even though these are cut apart, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the jelly roll and everything at some point is going to be 2.5 inches by something. Okay? So just hang in there with me. I promise it, this is not as hard as I'm making it sound. It's actually quite easy. So here's what you're going to do. So if we, let me grab this block real quick. Okay. So if we look at this one, you're going to take a light one and a dark one, and you're going to put them side by side. You can pick out which lights and darks you want to use. That part's not important. What's important is just that it's one light, one dark. It kind of helps with the contrast, okay? Oh, and while we're talking about contrasting, which actually has nothing to do with it, don't forget there will be another drawing. I haven't picked out the prizes yet, but there will be another drawing. I've already gotten a couple of people that have went ahead and sent me their email. So remember to send me your email either through a private message through my page. Hey, Valentina, how are you? Send me a private message through my page. Even if you think I already have your email, go ahead and send it again so I know that you're interested in this drawing and I can go ahead and put your name in the box. Now, you can either private message it through here or you can send it to my SRQ Quilter, QUILTER @gmail.com. SRQQUILTER and that will put you in for the drawing that we're going to have. Okay. So take your lights and your darks, and what I did yesterday when I was working on this one, I went ahead and laid them out and decided which ones I wanted my light and darks and which ones I didn't, because there's actually 2, 4, 6, 8. Ooh. So all in all, you should have 8 light, 8, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, okay. 8. Yes. Sometimes I look at this stuff and I'm like, wait, what? No, wait. Does anybody else have those kind of brain farts? Okay. So put a light and a dark together, and that should leave you with 8 pieces like this. Okay. Now, when I was done, I really did have to square this up because when I started to put them together, they did not quite, excuse me, sorry, my eye is watering still. I do apologize. It's not COVID, I promise. It's just the, hey, Miss Amanda. Hey, can't stay on. But I'm going to share. Thank you so much, Miss Amanda. You know, I appreciate you coming in and supporting me. You know how much I love you guys. Tell Miss Donna I said hey. Okay, so it's a batik, so again, there's really not a right and wrong. One side might be just a little bit sharper than the other. You pick out which side you want to use and let that be your right side. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them together and then stitch down one side. And you're going to be stitching down the side that is the long size, the 3.5 inch side. So let's go ahead and get to work on that. Actually, I want you to know I forgot to change out my foot twice yesterday and wound up hitting the needle on the foot. And oh, the sound that makes. It just still makes my tummy cringe because it just makes a horrible sound. Okay. I'm going to put my 1/4 inch foot back. I've made sure I'm on my straight stitch right down the center. And when you, it said something about a scant 1/4, but that didn't work because I still wound up with extra fabric I had to trim off. I had almost a full 1/4 inch I had to trim off in the end. So don't worry about that scant 1/4 inch. So just so you know, this is not my pattern. This is, I found one of my Jelly Roll books, and I'm just borrowing patterns from there to give us something to work on together. But I wanted it to kind of be a surprise, so I'm posting what you need to cut the night before. So make sure you check into my Facebook page, my SRQ Quilter Facebook page, so that you can find the cutting instructions for the next pattern for the next day. And if for some reason you get lost, all of these are on there. If you need block 1, block 2, block 3, whatever you need, I'll leave them up and just go in and click on them and read through it at your convenience, okay? But I definitely will put the cutting instructions up the night before. It's kind of going a little slow today. I turned it down. I was working on masks and I kept getting my machine kept getting stuck because I was trying to go through about 9 layers of knit. And it did not like that. So what's everybody up to today? What are you working on? I saw Miss Janice last night because I dropped off her prize. I was able to take it right to her front door and saw what she was working on. She showed me the Unity block she was working on from Beverly. I actually don't remember. And it was beautiful. I loved it. So neat getting a chance to see some of the blocks, but we did keep our distance most of the time. Everybody in her household looks like they're doing well. So how's everybody else out there? Everybody doing well? Keeping distances? I still, I go into Joann's every once in a while. For the most part, that place is a ghost town. Except for Saturday. That place was it was crazy. Not like it usually is on a Saturday, but it was rocking. I went in there one time and one of the ladies behind the cutting counter had a mask on. I thought, you go girl. Don't you let anybody shame you into not wearing a mask. Because I feel like that sometimes. I feel like if people see you wearing a mask, they're either thinking, you got it, or they're thinking, what, you don't have faith? Hang on. I'm going to do a quick little iron. This one is a little bit wrinkly. And it's still wrinkly, so we'll pick a different one until my iron warms up. So, anyways. So is everybody working on masks right now? I know, I feel like everybody I talk to is, you know, hey, do you know how big it's supposed to be? Do you know this? So I know that people are out there trying to get them done. And I had my cousin contact me the other day. She's in the nursing field. She's in like radiology or something like that. And she told me that they're getting to their end of their supply too, and are going to need something, and asked me if I would work on helping them get the masks, getting some masks, and some of those headbands. She saw the post on the headbands and thought they were a great idea. And I heard someone say that you can use, you know, just a regular headband and just add some buttons to it. You know, you can get headbands pretty cheap at Walmart and Dollar Tree and those places. Now I noticed the ones from Dollar Tree are actually kind of tiny. Maybe you could cut it and put a little extra, you know, elastic in it to make it a little bit bigger. Because when I put those things on, I feel like it's squishing my head. Okay, so for anybody who's just joined, we're putting together our 3.5 by 2.5 inch. Hey Marianne, let's see, I'm finishing up on a gluing paper barn animals with kids, and then I'm going to start sewing. All right. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was just out with May at the park and met a very nice guy named Joe who had a dog. He has a beagle too. And so May was all kinds of chasing after that poor dog. He was running the other direction and she was chasing. And then we met another cute little dog at the park that apparently has, is it narcolepsy? Just all of a sudden he'll just fall asleep. And sure enough, he was running, chasing the ball, and then all of a sudden, bloop, fell asleep. And he woke up and started chasing the ball again. His owner was like, you know, don't worry, you know, it's just, he has, you know, that sleeping thing where he just suddenly falls asleep. And I thought that was so interesting. I've never seen it on a dog. So we're sewing our 3, our 2. So when we're done with this one right here, when we're done with this section right here, this is actually going to be 3.5 inches. And then when we're done with 6.5 inches, sorry, 6.5 inches. When we're done with the whole thing, it needs to be 12.5 inches. Yeah, 12.5. That's the ticket. Okay. Now you may find that some of the jelly rolls you'll pick up, the 2.5 inch wide jelly roll is really not 2.5 inches. It might be slightly smaller. So just take up the difference in the seam. So still make it your 1/4 inch seam, but maybe, you know, slide that little piece over just a little bit. Just make sure the edges meet up. And if you've ever had that happen, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I talked to Nicole today over in Morocco. She is doing well. Their stay-at-home order is a lot more severe. They can actually get in trouble for being out. So he pretty much keeps them indoors. You know, I have one of these of my own, but I just keep borrowing Miss Janice's. She's so sweet to do these. I do have these on my Etsy site, by the way. So if you're interested, I can definitely get one of these out to you. Shipping on Etsy is generally about $5, $4 or $5. And I love the way this just makes it so nice. Look at that. Isn't that great? I love the way those clappers work. It's a clapper. It's a seam. On my Etsy, it's called a seam press. Okay? So use your seam press. It's a lot easier than using a smaller and laying it out. And then when you iron it down, most of the time I wind up with puckers. And it's usually because I'm trying to go along this edge here and I create puckers. That one actually looks pretty good for a change. But the clapper is something I put on there for friends. This is not my item. This is something that some of the ladies at my guild makes, and they do such a fantastic job with this thing. So it is homemade. It is handmade. But it is so nice. I get a good seam with that every time. And especially if I have to do it open because of bulk. And some of these blocks can get pretty bulky. All right, so Miss Marianne said that she's going to be working on sewing later today. That's great. How about everybody else? Anybody else working on something special maybe? Like I got the baby quilt I'm working on. By the time I'm done with this, I should have 2 quilts done. One of them I'll post for sale on the site, and the other one is going to my grandbaby. And the grandbaby's probably not going to get the purple one. She's probably going to get the really cute baby colored ones. I don't know. I'll decide at the end. So I know, maybe at the end of this, you can tell me what you think it's worth. What would you pay for a small, because this will wind up being about a lap quilt or wall hanging, you know, or baby blanket, depending upon how big we make it. All right, last one. Then we're going to work on the next part. The next part involves the your accent color. Whatever color you have chosen for your accent color, that's what's next. And don't worry if you weren't able to get your stuff cut out today and you're not really able to follow me right now. You can go back, look at this video later. Look on my website for the day 1. It says right here. I know you can't see it because it's backwards, but day 1. Going to make gowns for... Oh, you go, Miss Janice. You rock. So it's going to say day 1. So day 1 is for today, which matches up with the live because it says number 1. So you can go back and do this with me as you like, but have fun with it. Excuse me. Yeah, that Pepsi's talking back to me. Coca-Cola. All right, so I've already cut some down. These were the 2.5 inches, so I just cut them down to 1.5. I need to start on this project with you. I'm still having to work. Aww. Well, Ms. Valentina, I sure hope you do this with us. I know I would love to have you on with us. Okay, actually, no. Let's hold off on that for just a second. I just remembered. We actually have to combine this piece with this piece. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your light and your dark, and you're going to put them together like this. That's the part that's next. The other thing I like about the way the clapper presses those down is that the seam is so much cleaner. It just seems like it's really, really clean. Like you can really get that edge together very nicely. Instead of fighting with, you know, when you press it over, it's like you're fighting with the bulk on one side to match up with the bulk on the other side. And even though you would think that would nest up very nicely, it doesn't. Now, last night I pinned them. All right, give me my needle up there. Last night I pinned them, and I found that my pin wanted to shift my fabric. So today I'm going to try it without the pins. What do you think? And my sewing machine is still going kind of slow. I haven't changed it. Okay, so let's pull this out and take a look at it. And where'd my clapper go? Clapper. I kind of like the name of that, clapper. Clapper. Good job, Miss Janice. I like this thing. I did make one for myself, but I'm not sure what I did with it. I stuffed it in one of my mini boxes that I can't ever find anything. And then one day I'm looking for something else and I find it. Yay! But that's not today. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. And ready? There it is. Okay. So this is what it looks like when it's put together. Not bad on that seam, right? Looks pretty good. So these things really are great for that. So if you get one off of my Etsy page, which the Etsy page is SRQ Quilter, if you get one off my Etsy page, I'll get that right in the mail to you, and you'll be helping to support some of our ladies who are living on limited income, and we're always happy to help with that. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish up the rest of our blocks. And put that on there. Now you could square this up before you put the accent on, but I waited. I went ahead and squared it up afterwards. Hey, has anybody seen that post about the Easter dresses for this year? Oh, that was so funny. My mom wore muumuus once she retired from working, and it really was a forced retirement because she hurt herself. But once she retired, she that's all she ever wore was her muumuus. She loved her muumuus. In fact, I had decided way too long after she passed that I would have liked to have had her muumuus so that I could put together something, a quilt for my sister and I, but it was way too long. My sister had already gotten her stuff. I don't want to say she got rid of it, but yeah, she kind of got rid of it. And that's okay, because you know, you can only keep that stuff for so long. You can only keep those memories hidden in there for so long. All right, and working on the last one. So, yeah, last night I was working on masks and, oh gosh, oh, headbands. I was working on headbands too. Where's my headband? Okay, here it is. So, this is some of that really stretchy jersey knit stuff that's, I don't remember what they called it. Anyways, it had a special name. So, this is the headband that I made. And these are where the ears would be. I did not realize how high up my forehead is to my neck. But there's my ears. So that's kind of how I figured it. Anyway, so this was the headband that I was working on last night. And trust me, this, again, the first one always takes the longest, and I figured out a lot of things I was doing wrong with that. And then what other one was I working on? I might have taken it to the back room. Nope, here it is. So here was my first attempt at a headband, and there's what it looks like. This kind of looks like the one that I have in my bathroom that I use to hold my hair back when I put my makeup on. And this is where I was trying to go through like 9 layers of fabric, and my machine said, nope, we're going on vacation now. So I had to stop doing that. I can't sew through that. In fact, I had to start using a regular needle, and that was a little painful. Okay. Snip, snip, snip. Now you could do, while we're doing this, you could do several blocks. I mean, if you wanted to make a whole quilt out of this, you know, that's great. But I thought we could, you know, just have some fun finding some jelly roll patterns to work on. I know I got a bunch of patterns out last night that I was looking at to see what our next one is going to be. And I just think it's going to be really cute. And I'm going to try and keep all of them down to 12.5 is what the finished block size. No. When it's finished, it'll be 12 inches. But when we're done sewing it, the one block, it'll be 12.5 inches. I hope that makes sense to everybody. There are some terms I'm still a little bit sketchy on. Because, again, I'm one of those self-taught sewers. And even though I have taken several classes from some wonderful teachers, I still see some of my self-taught stuff kind of coming up to the surface. Bad habits, especially where ironing is concerned. I know there are so many ways that you're supposed to iron it, or a couple of ways, and I do it all the bad way. I do the bad stuff, like, you know, this thing, or this. Apparently it's all about this when you're ironing. So what other bad habits have you guys picked up or had before, maybe before someone taught you better? Maybe it's not even a sewing habit. Maybe it's a driving habit. My husband says I have a very bad habit of not using my blinker. Don't judge. Don't judge. Okay, let's get this out of the way. So one of my bad habits is not using a blinker. It absolutely drives him bonkers. So that's an out there kind of bad habit. Okay, so I had some pieces left over from another project I was working on. So this isn't actually even with the fabric. It's probably about half of the width of fabric. Or it could be left over from last night. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, I get so dry. Oh, I hear the phone. Or the clock. Means it is 4 o'clock. Not 5 o'clock, right? No. Okay, we're making great time on this. All right, so we're gonna just lay it down just like that on our 1.5 inch accent fabric with ours, others. And we're gonna put it right there, right on the edge, and pin it if you need to. You know, don't go by my bad habits over here. And I'm just going to reline it up one more time. And this is where if I did pin it, it would probably stay in place. I don't even have my pins in front of me. They're way across. Oh, and my needle's down. Okay. So we are going to take this down the very long edge. So now you just went from 3.5 inches long to about 6.5 inches long. Okay. So we're going to keep that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And we're going to stitch right down, and then I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to grab the next one, and it doesn't matter whether you do top or bottom. We're just going to go in here and do the next one. Yep, that's May you hear in the background. She is not a napper, so she's pretty much up all day long. All day. So we went to the park and we did I Spy. So we did ABC's I Spy. And then we were done with the ABCs. She wanted to do the 1, 2, 3s. So we found 1 flower, 2 trees, 3 pine cones, 4 shells.
Mimi?
Yes, sweetie?
Can I run hot dogs?
Well, why don't you ask Grandpa, because remember Grandma's working. Grandma's on the live. Do you want to say hello?
Papa's singing.
That was not me belching, that was her. Come here. Come here. Can you say hello? Say hello, everyone. Bye. I got her coming. She's asking for hot dogs. All right. Go ask Papa.
No, Papa said no.
Well, then it's no. You don't ask Papa, then come ask me. That's bad.
No, it's not bad.
Didn't you have lunch?
No.
Well, go tell Papa you haven't had lunch. Tell him you want a Nutella sandwich.
Nutella's are my too.
Oh. Okay, we'll work on that. Miss Sheila said hello. Can you say hi to Miss Sheila?
Hi.
She's so energetic. Okay, and then I have a few scraps, so I'm just going to use, this is actually going to wind up probably more of a scrappy kind of because I'm just using whatever whites I can find. And this happens to be some project I was working on before that has some 1.5 inch pieces. All right, so I'm gonna take this out. Not quite done, I still have one more to go, and get those done. And then we're going to cut those. Yeah, there we go. May, can you take your very noisy tablet somewhere else, please?
I'm so hungry.
Then tell Grandpa that you want to eat something.
Can I go outside and play?
No, you can go back on the patio and play.
Oh, I want to play outside.
Well, go ask Grandpa. And you go on the patio because nobody's out front. Earlier we took her out front and let her play with the chalk. We actually had to clean our driveway off because we had a lot of debris from the trees last night. Ooh, how was all that rain? Did everybody survive the downpour? I say that with as much humor as possible because even though it was kind of rainy. Okay, so for this one I'm just going to flip it over. Where are you going?
What?
Where are you going?
I'm not going. I'm just playing outside.
No, no, no. Grandpa.
What?
No, you're not going out front. Too many cars, and we can't keep an eye on you out there if we're not out there. So you don't go out front unless we're out there.
I'm sorry.
All right, so we're going to iron that edge down. She can be a little stubborn. She wants to do what she wants to do. Okay, so we're going to iron this edge down right here. And then we're going to come back in just a minute and we're going to do the other edge. So this block actually works out very quickly. When you get the first one done, it's very easy to do another one. So if you want to do more than one quilt while we're working on this, you can pick a different fabric. Like I've got this block that we're working on right now. I've got it in this one, but I also have this one. So by the time I'm done, I'll have 2 different quilts. Okay. There. And then we're going to do this one. Flip this one over. And don't forget, if you need some more fabric or would like to try something different, I've got 8 different fabrics that I have online, and if it's local, I'm happy to drop them off at your front door. We'll do a PayPal invoice, pay your invoice, and then I will deliver it to your front door. We don't even have to chit chat. I'll just drop it and ring the bell, kind of like USPS or the UPS. All right, so let me make a little space over here. Now here's where I will use my quilt ruler and my handy dandy little rotary cutter. So you want to try and make this as straight as possible because you want all these to line up. Okay. And there's one side. I think when I originally did this, I went ahead and sewed down both sides first, and then I cut everything apart. I love the Quilter Select. This one is not it, because when I put it down and I go to cut, it doesn't slide. And I found that most every one does. I even have the little sticky things, but they're so raised up that it doesn't really, it's still kind of wobbly. So now, even though I've got the stickies on there, I go ahead and I still use the back side because the sticky things are kind of wobbly. Let me show you. So I've tried a bunch of different stickies to make it where it doesn't slide around, but I found that the Quilter Select rulers are really the only ones that I'm really comfortable with, even though you can't see them through them very well and you have to be careful putting them down. But they have actually solved that problem too. They took what looks like a drawer pull, put a suction on it, and then suctioned it down to the, you can suction it down to the top. And so now you have a handle, you can pick it up and move it around. And I actually like it. I use it a lot with my long one. And sometimes if I'm doing a lot of work with my shorter rulers. All right. Let me do this one last piece and then we're going to go ahead and trim right down the end. But she did really good with the I Spy. And then when we stopped, when we finished with 1 through 10, she said, well, what's like 11 is next, Grandma. And I'm like, yeah, let's quit with that. So then we went back to A, B's, and C's, and she had to pick different words for the letters. And she quickly tired of that, found a dog, and decided to play with the dog. So that was okay with me, because that just meant that I didn't have to try to help her find any more A's. She found ant and apple, but of course there were no apples. And something else, I don't remember. What was the first one she found? I don't remember, but then it was B, and even though I was thinking blue sky, she saw a little wasp and said, oh, Grandma, look, a bee. And it's like, yep, you're right. We'll go with that. All right, and I thought I had another strip ready, but okay, we're going to just go ahead and use 4 of these. These are all 1.5 inches. They will only go the distance one time on these. All right, so let me iron them real quick because they're crinkled in the middle. Okay. So I have my white sections. There we go. I love these whites that they have where they have like vines in white, white on white. They're really, really pretty. Problem is you can't see. You can't see them. Yeah, I didn't think it would fit. Okay. So you have to be very careful when you do it. And I know on one of them, on this quilt, this block, one of them is backwards because I didn't catch that it was not in the right direction. That's okay. I'm not going to spaz too much. Okay, let's see, what was her name? Krista? Krista was on yesterday, and she wanted to start out very, very beginner. She didn't even know how to thread her machine. Krista, are you out there? Krista, you kind of came on at the very last minute. We would love to get with you. I think I sent you a message last night. We would love to get with you and help you through the beginner thing. So if you're out there, you know, answer my Facebook message, get with me so we can help you get started. We want you to feel like there's a community out here who really wants to work with you. So make sure you get with me, okay? Somebody had asked me the other day through message if I always stand when I sew. And, you know, the answer to that would probably be yes. I do stand a lot when I sew. It has to do with my work. When I worked, I stood all the time because they wanted you to be ready when a customer walked in the door. So I pretty much did stand a lot. And I kind of got the hang of that. I liked doing it. Because when I sit down, I feel like my legs don't like it. And so, yes, I do stand and sew a lot, but I have and can sit. So my table is a Martelli table, and it's hydraulic, so I can lower it and raise it however I need to. And when I cut, I'm always standing when I cut because you can put you know, more force, more pressure on your rotary cutter when you're standing than when you're sitting down. And so I'm standing a lot for that as well. And so my Martelli table will raise up so that it's at a comfortable level. I'm not hunched over trying to make these cuts. And that's always nice too. So I actually have 2 Martelli tables, and I'm trying to sell one of them because I bought the big one. I loved it so much, and I decided that I really wanted more space, and the premium one, or whatever the biggest one that they had, I promised myself that I would sell my other table so that I could pay this one off quickly, and it hasn't quite gotten there yet. But you never know, somebody might still be interested in it. But I have the table down from this one, and it's still, the heights are still the same. It'll do the same heights, it's just a little bit shorter. It has the ironing pad, it has the cutting pad on it. I've got all of the rulers and everything to go with it. So if you're interested, you let me know, because I would love to sell it. I would also love to keep it, but I really need to sell it so I can try to pay this one off. I'm trying to not be in debt for all of this stuff. My husband has been great about helping me stay out of debt with it, but, you know, this was just one of those expenses. We just couldn't pay it outright. So I really need to pay off that table. Anyways, so what's been the biggest item you've purchased? I mean, you spent the most money on it. I can't believe how expensive sewing machines can get. I mean, wow. Just wow, you know. And if you try to find, you know, just a simple little straight stitch, zigzag stitch, you know, on the internet, shoo, I can't believe how much people are asking for their used sewing machines. I'm like, really? But I actually have quite a few sewing machines myself. Oh, thank you, Brenda. But I have a lot of sewing machines. No, I don't. Okay, not that many. Miss Janice has more than me. She has way more than me, I think. And she's a sweetie, too. But I think I have like one of everything. No, I have 2 singers. I have a singers, I have a Janome, and I have my brother. Actually, I have 2 brothers. One's a smaller, does only the very, very small embroidery on it. And I got that as a backup because this one was on my quilting frame, which I do have a quilting frame for sale as well. But this one was on the frame, and my daughter had my Janome because she was learning to sew as well. And so I needed another one, and I found that one, and it was still $350 second hand. I got it from a lady in the parking lot of Burlington. Yeah, that's where it was, Burlington. So I bought it from her out of the back of her car. But I always like to meet people in very public places, so I got that from her. It was actually very nice. It took a little while to figure it out, but everything was in there, manuals and everything. So it was a nice little machine. It took me a little while to figure it out though, because I kept doing it wrong. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I was doing something wrong. Alrighty. Let's get this one trimmed up, okay? All right, and then we're going to trim off the edges off of these. This might be a good place to use the square ruler and just see if I did any better with this one than I did with the other one. So on 2 sides, they have the 1/2 inch mark, and on these 2 sides, it's 1 full inch. And so since we're going to be doing a 6 inch, we're going to use the 1/2 inch here, and then we're going to come all the way over here to the 6, and we want to make sure it goes from here to here. And this is the Quilter Select ruler. And no, I don't have them for sale, so this is not a plug for them. But yes, I'm still off by almost 1/4 inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off just a little bit off of this side. I think that's too much. So just going to take a little bit off of this side because you want it to be even. It needs to be even. So what we're doing is we're kind of squaring up the block. So let's take a little bit off here, And we're going to take a little bit off here. And see if we've got it squared up. Okay. All right, it looks perfect. So I got 6 all the way to 6.5, and then 6 all the way to 6.5 here. So perfect. So we just kind of like the other ones, we just had to take a little bit off of both sides. So that's not so bad. All right, so that one's done. Set it off to the side. Sorry. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the other one. Other ones. So what's for dinner? Who's making dinner tonight? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and trim off all of these. And then I'm going to go back and look and see which ones need to be, which they probably all will. They did yesterday. And so those square rulers come in very, very handy for when you have to square something up. And you can use a regular ruler, but it's a lot harder. Okay. Now, one of the habits I did get into was remembering to put my blade away when I'm not cutting. Because I have actually nicked myself once, and the stupid thing was even closed, and I still nicked myself. I'm not sure how that happened, but you know, it does. All right, let's do the last one here. We are almost finished with this block. This is going to be such a pretty quilt when we are done. So I hope you guys hang with me on this. And like I said, just be careful doing that, because sometimes you get your cut wrong and you wind up cutting into it. But anyways, make sure you're checking tonight. It'll probably be between 8 and 10 o'clock, and I'll get the next set of cuts in there, you know, on the website for you. And if you have any questions or you're not sure, maybe something doesn't make sense, just, you know, email me and ask me, or text me, or even right there on the post, you know, ask me questions, because I am happy to try to help us figure it out, because we're pretty much all kind of walking through this together. Okay, it's not real square, but it's not really far off either, so we're just going to give this one a quick... One of the things I like about the Quilter Select is you can pull your fabric around. It pulls it with it, so when you make a cut, all you do is pull it away, and bam, your fabric is out of the way, and what's left is right there. So I love that about this. And it looks like I might need to cut a little off the end too. I don't know. Let me get this cut done. Okay, and then we're going to go back, because it looked like that side was just a little bit off. Let's see. Oh, yep, just slightly. But if it is an even 6.5 all the way around, you'll find that it will match up when you're doing that last, putting the block together, that it will be perfect. It will look great. If it's slightly off, then you're going to be fighting with it. And you don't want to fight with this stuff. This one actually looks pretty good. Might have been the one I just did. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, let's take a little bit off this side. What you making? Hi, Rebecca. We are making this quilt block that you see behind me. It is a jelly roll quilt block. It uses a jelly roll, which is really just a 2.5-inch strip. You can buy them pre-made. Where's mine at? You can buy them pre-made. They look like this. You can buy them at Joann's. You can get them from Missouri Star Quilt Company. You can pretty much buy them anywhere. I don't actually have any jelly rolls for sale myself. But I do make up some of the 2.5-inch squares, or blocks. Strips. Doggone it. All right. So that's what we're working on right now. Now tomorrow we're going to do a different block. This is block 1, and tomorrow we're going to do a different one. So You have to kind of keep an eye out on the website for the cutting instructions for the jelly roll so that you know what to cut out next. Right now what I'm doing is I'm squaring up the smaller blocks so that when we're done with this, we can put it together and it should be perfect. All right, we're almost done. I just have to check these two sides real quick and make sure they're on the money, slightly off. I think I can take it all off to one side, even though you probably shouldn't. You should probably do both sides just to make it even. Okay, so all 4 of the blocks should be the exact same size. Okay, just gonna kind of lay them on top and take a quick look. Yeah, they look good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put them together. Now to put this one together, now again, we just got the accent color on both long sides. So what we're gonna do is the very first one we're gonna put together, we're gonna put together one across and one up. Okay, so let's put those together, and this right now would not be a bad idea to go ahead and pin. So go ahead and pin it together. 1, so you remember what side you're working on, and 2, so that it doesn't slide around, and you can see if you've got it even. That's my thing. Got to make sure it's even. Okay, and yeah, they match up perfectly. Wonderful. Yay! Sometimes that's not so easy. Sometimes you think you got this and you don't. Okay, so whichever way, well, I guess, well, so if you did this one like this one, then the next one, you want to do one like this, straight up, and one across. Okay? Does that make sense? And then pin that one. And pin that one. Now the whole putting it together right now, there shouldn't be any more cuts that you'll need to do. You should be right on the money, but it never hurts to check it again. Remember, measure twice, cut once. And trust me, I've had to do that a few times. Let me turn this back over here, get this out of my way. And we can still do the strip piecing, which basically what that means is just we're gonna zip this one through, stop, grab the other one, zip it through, and then we'll snip them apart. And that's basically what strip piecing is. Usually you do it when you have a lot of blocks. And you shouldn't run over your pins. And you didn't see that, right? You didn't see me run over a pin. The problem with running over a pin is if you run over a pin and your needle hits it, odds are you're going to throw the timing out on your sewing machine. And then, if you don't have a spare timing machine, you have no way to do any more quilting until you get it fixed. And trust me, your sewing machine guy will not be very happy with you. Hey, sweetie. Hey. Glad to see you're home. Yeah. That, and you know, I have snapped the end of the pin off, the end of the needle off by running over a pin. And if those go flying in the wrong direction, they could fly up and hit you in the face, or God forbid, the eye. So you want to make sure that you are pulling that pin out every time before you run over it. You can wait till the last minute. You can even stop sewing and pull the pin out, but make sure you're pulling that pin out. Okay. Now let's do a quick iron job here. Let's get this ironed up here. Let's see. Okay, so in this instance, I'm actually going to iron to the light side because there's a lot of bulk if you try to iron it the other direction. This way it's going to be really smooth. If you try to iron it the other way, even though it is the darker side, what's going to happen is you're going to create a double bulk on the back side. Bulk, B-U-L-K, bulk. And then you start to get where it's bumping up, creating a little bump. So this is one of those times when it's okay to iron it towards the light side. Okay? Sewing does have some rules, but they aren't rules that you can't break. You can break some of the rules. And this is one of those ones you can break. All right, so let's get this iron on there. See, I was being a good person. I just put it down and lifted it up. Wow, 43 people. I think that's the most I've had in a long time. All right, for anybody who has just joined, we are doing a mystery jelly roll quilt. And this is our first block, and tomorrow we're going to do another one. So if you go on the SRQ site tonight, between 8 and 10 o'clock, I will have the next cuts on there for you, and you can follow along. Now, Jelly Roll is actually a really easy pattern for the most part to follow. So if you're a beginner, this is actually a good pattern for you, a good project, because Jelly Rolls generally are just very simple patterns. All right, so now what we're going to do, if you can see, is we are going to find out where our center is, okay? And we're going to match up that seam right there, because that seam should be dead center. Ah, it got me again. Ooh, it got me last night really bad. I had to get a Band-Aid. I usually keep Band-Aids close by because at some point during all my sewing, I usually poke myself somehow. Okay. And everything is just lining up so beautifully. Looks great. Let's see. Hey, Tabitha. How are you doing, sweetie? I haven't heard from you in forever. Let's see, what did you say your site was to order stuff from? Okay, right now my Etsy has a few items on it, not much. But if you want to order fabric, if you go to my SRQ Quilter, by the way, Etsy is SRQ Quilter, or Quilters. Anyways, one of those. And my SRQ Quilter site, Facebook page, I have some fabric on there. You just kind of have to scroll through and find it. I'll try to bump it up if I can. And if you want to really see what it looks like and you're just not sure, drop me an email in the srqquilter@gmail.com, and I will send you a little swatch of the fabric so you can see what it looks like. I don't mind. It's like 45 cents, 50 cents, you know, to send an email or to send a letter, and I'll be happy to send it to you. And that way you can see how beautiful that fabric is. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and continue. We are almost done. You guys are doing fabulous. So I got an SRQ Facebook page where I keep everything posted. I do have a website, but it's still under construction. I sent some more stuff to her today so that we can get that thing up and running. But I haven't been pushing her because she's been so busy with the with people needing work done on their websites, and she's been so fantastic with me on this, because I'm a horrible procrastinator. So she rocks it, and I haven't been pressuring her to try to get mine up and running any faster. But that being said, if you need some work done on your website, or you need a website, Pat from Magna Sites is wonderful. She's just fantastic with me. So if you need any help, you know, look her up. Okay, and we're going to iron that right this way. And then, voila. What do you think? Looks like that one too, doesn't it? I'm not going to tell you what I see, because I did not see that last night. Anyways, it looks really cute, and when you put it all together with all the other blocks, it's going to be beautiful. You're going to love it. Alrighty. So how are we on time? We are at 4:30, right on the dot. Wonderful. All right, y'all. So, does anybody have any questions? I see. Thank you, Faye, for not saying it out loud. Because okay. So let me take this down. Oh, this one doesn't match up. Okay. All right. So, anyways, if you keep them all going the same direction, each block will have a white circle all the way around it. And you want to make sure that you have them all going the same direction. This is directional, so you can't do this haphazardly. You have to plan this out. Because see how I have this one this way? And even if I put this one like this, now I could, you know, pull them apart and fix it, but they're not going together anyways. This one is in its own block. But yeah, by the time you're done, there is a white circle around the whole thing, not just a few. How do I join in? Hey, Jeannie. Miss Jeannie, we would love to have you join. Just be on here every day from 3:30 to 4:30, or when you can. These will be numbered 1 through however many blocks we decide to do. You're welcome to join us to go on later and watch. Each night I will give you a new cutting instructions for how to cut your jelly roll. Sorry, went completely blank there for a minute. Now, if you want to be entered in to win the prize, which I will have that picked out here very soon. But last time I gave away 2 prizes. One was a double pack of jelly rolls. Sorry, not jelly rolls. I'm losing my mind here. One was a double pack of charm packs. So you got 2 of the same charm pack. I actually still have one of them because she hasn't contacted me yet. Which reminds me, Delia, you need to give me a call or send me an email because you won those charm packs, okay, Delia? So if you're on here, Delia P. I want to say last name, Delia P. Give me an email or private message me. Okay, so if you want to be entered into the drawing that we will be doing at the end of this, just send me your email through either private message through here, or send me an email through your send me your email. Y'all, I must be hungry or something, or lack of food or water or something. Send me an email to my email, which is srqquilter@gmail.com. That's srqquilter@gmail.com. This will put you in for the drawing at the end. And we're going to talk about this pretty much every single time we're here, because I don't mind giving away. I like giving stuff away. I love doing the drawings. When I do my classes, I do giveaways then as well. So, please feel free to join in. I would love to have you here with us. It's just a chance for a bunch of people who love to quilt and have, some companionship, especially in this time when we're doing self-isolation. Kiki! Oh my gosh, dog. She loves Ashley. That dog loves Ashley, and she whines like that until Ashley comes back. I just wish she wouldn't do it during my hour. Anyways, all right. So, yes, first time here, looking like fun. I love batiks. Batiks are like my all-time favorite. I have a ton of batik fabric. So if you're interested in some batik fabric, send me a private message. Tell me what you'd like to see, and I will take a picture of it and show you what I have. Most of my fabrics are about $9.99 a yard, and I'm happy to ship it to you wherever. And the shipping, no matter what you buy, is $5, unless you buy a bolt. That's a little bit heavier. But anyways, oh, Kiki, please, honey, hang on just a sec. Kiki, hey, what's the problem? What's the problem, huh? You're okay? You're okay? Nobody's left you? I don't know. She's blind, so she can't see. Usually she can smell you, but for some reason she decided that the house was empty and she needed to let me know. Anyways, so anything I say to you guys, I mean that to everybody. If there's something you're looking for specifically, a specific color or color scheme or whatever, private message me, send it to my email and my SRQ Quilter. Don't forget to send me your email so that I can enter you in for the drawing. I've already had a couple people go ahead and register. I got at least two of them last night, and I hadn't even started yet. So that's great. I love that kind of response. I hope you guys have fun. I hope you have an interesting evening. I hope you stay safe. I haven't done a quick prayer in a while. My dogs are trying to get get the phone. That's so funny, Brenda. I love it. I need a white batik and a dark purple batik. Jeannie, go ahead and, because I have white and I have dark purple. Go ahead and private message me, and I will send you a picture of what I have, okay? And then you can tell me if you need any of it, and I can get you a PayPal invoice out to you. Off I went. Okay, we're back. So I can get a picture to you. You can decide if you want any of it. If you don't need it, it's not what you want, don't you worry. I understand. No big deal. I'm an internet. I'm not a brick and mortar. I'm an internet business, so I understand sometimes, what we have is not what you need, and I understand that. But if I can help, you just let me know, okay? Well, Jeannie, I'm glad you came across this too. We love having you on here. And please feel free to, talk back and forth amongst yourselves. I have no problem with you guys communicating with each other. I think that's great. Maybe if you have an answer to something that somebody asks, That's kind of what this is all about. We're just having fun, helping each other out, spending some fun time together. But so far I am here, I have to say, so far it's been Monday through Saturday from 3:30 to 4:30. If there's something happens that I can't be on, I usually send a message through my SRQ Quilter Facebook page. So kind of keep an eye on that. And I am happy that you were able to join me today, but it is time to go because I have to go get dinner ready, because I'm still a mother and a wife, so got to feed the family, which has been interesting because I don't think I have cooked this much in like forever. So I cook almost every day. All right, so that was our first block. I can't wait to see what we're going to be doing for the second block. And again, I will post that tonight on my SRQ Facebook. You should be able to find it right underneath there. It should be one of the newer posts, so you shouldn't have any trouble. If you have an opportunity, post what you're working on. I would love to see it. You guys have a fantastic night. Again, be safe. If you have any questions, just text me, email me, send me PM, whatever it is. All right?
Stay at home.
And stay home. Stay home. Keep us old folks safe. All right, guys. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.